Okay, so we all have this box here. You made your own version, hopefully, and it all fits together. We just confirmed it by making these actually 3D models that we can then assemble together. And now, before we even go in and cut this out on the laser cutter, I want to show you a couple things you can do to make this a little bit fancier by putting text on here, by putting some pictures on here. So let me first show you how you can put pictures on. If you go into Google, I already did one here. I'm going to just put on the Steelers logo. And if you find a picture you like, as long as they aren't too complex, like an actual photograph, converting it is going to be taking up a lot of computing power. But it can be done, but it might slow down your computer. So if you find one you like, you can save the image. I already have one saved on my desktop here, so I will just save that, and I'll replace the one I already have. Kind of go through. So here's my picture. If I go now into this program, or just actually this website, so what you want to do is you want to take this picture, which is just a picture file like a JPEG or a PNG file, and you want to convert it into an SVG, which is a scaled vector graphic, kind of like what Photoshop or like Illustrator uses. And also, it's what Fusion can read as like a vector. So you can really easily turn in any picture into a vector by going to this website. There's other ones, but I like this one. Pick SVG. And it does kind of what you see here. It takes a picture and turns it into like an outline that you can then put in as a sketch. So I'm going to upload a picture. Here it is. And you'll see that this turns it into an outline. It's all black and white. You get different options you can try here, inverts or readies, try them all. I'm going to use invert 3. I think looks the most clear. I will download that SVG, and here it is. I'm going to actually move this onto my desktop just so it's easy for me to find. Let's drag it over there. Okay, so now basically I can go back into Fusion. Let's go back, and rather than making a whole new sketch, because remember, we want to keep these sketches flat, meaning we want to have everything that's on the sketch on the same sketch, not random different sketches, because then it becomes tricky to actually import because you have to be doing more than one step. So let's go back to the original sketch that we drew everything on, and now we'll edit this. So I'm going to go up here and insert my SVG. I'll go to my computer and get the most recent one. There it is. And you can see how this kind of comes in just as a normal looking sketch. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so we can scale it right here. I'm going to kind of put it in the center of this, more or less. And good. Okay, so whenever this is done, you're going to see it comes in as a green shading. If you go select all this and then right click, you can unfix this. And this will basically turn that kind of locked picture you put in there or scaled vector graphic into a blue sketch, which is just like any other blue sketch where you can move it around and manipulate it and do some other things to it. So I do recommend if once you import SVGs that you convert them just to a normal, or you basically unfix them. Okay, so we can either cut this now or we can engrave it. Let's go now and put some text in here on the other side of this. I'm going to just drag it out and then I'll release it. Oops, or click it, I guess. I'm going to say, here we go, Steelers, which is something everybody chants at the games. I'll make this centered, and you actually adjust the size right here, at least the height of it. I'm going to make this point half an inch tall, and that looks good. Okay, so I got some text there now. Um, and then the same thing, whenever this goes into the software for laser cutting, we can either cut this out or we can scan it. You'll see. And maybe now just put some little, I'm going to put a circle right up on the lid so I can take my finger and open this thing up. I'll just do a 1-inch circle. And I'll maybe do some little circles down here too, just for decoration. Rather than just having a normal side there. I'm just going to put a little bit of small little circles, just or any. You can do any kind of shapes, splines, or you can kind of decorate this however you'd like. So now I'll just do that's fine for me. And that is it. So I'm going to show you now. This is done. So we can finish this sketch. What I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to go back and open this up. I'm going to hide the bodies. I'm going to show the sketch. Just one sketch there. It's perfect. If you were to make these as different sketches, you would have to import each sketch separately. First thing though, we need to save as an SVG. Sorry, not as SVG. We already did that. We're going to save this whole sketch. Right click, save as a DXF. A DXF is basically what the software for the laser cutter will read. So I'm just going to call this laser cut cardboard box, and I will save it. I already tried this, so I'm going to replace it. And that is it. This is now ready to be opened up in the Boss Laser software. That'll be the next video. And then in that video, I'm going to show you how to actually set up the speeds and the power of the laser. Also how to do different kinds of cutting or engraving. But basically, this is the whole process of CADing a little box like this, adding in some little pictures, making sure it all fits. And now we're done. Now we move on to the fun part, which is actually making this thing, taking it from a two-dimensional model and then turn it into a three-dimensional thing you can hold in your hands. Okay, so I'll end it here. Keep on watching, and I'm going to go into the laser cutting part of this now. All right, thanks. And don't forget to save your work.